Hello everyone, I'm Amit, a computer science educator from India, and in our remote learning series today we are going to understand what is open source philosophy. So to start with, first of all we should define this term free software. Free software means the software which is freely accessible and can be freely used, changed, improved, copied and distributed by all who wish to do so, and no payments are needed to be made for the free software. Now free software definition was published by Richard Stallman's Free Software Foundation, and according to them it is a matter of liberty, not the price, and free software is a matter of users' freedom to run, copy, distribute, study, change and improve the software. A free software has 4 kind of freedoms associated with it. Freedom 0, 1, 2 and 3. As per freedom 0, it's a freedom to run the program for any purpose, and as per freedom 1, it is the freedom to study how the program works and adapt to your needs. Access to the source code is precondition for this. We'll talk about this later. Now, freedom 2, there is a freedom to redistribute the copies so that you can help your friends, neighbors, colleagues. And freedom 3 is freedom to improve the software and release your own improved copy for the benefit of the public or community at large. So now again, access to the source code is a precondition for this. Now what is access code? What is access to the source code? Source code means the base of any software, the basic code, basic program on which that program has been built. So if you have access to that source code, you can change the program, you can modify the source code and create your own version of that software. And if a software has all these 4 freedoms associated with it, it is called as free software. Now open source software, this is a different thing. Open source software on the other hand can be freely used, but it doesn't have to be free of charge. Means the freedom is there but not the cost. So the company constructing the business model around open source software may receive payment concerning support and further services, or it's for the development of the software, for the services pertaining to the software. They can have a charging model. So what is important here is that open source software, that source code is freely available to the customer. It is the main condition. So the definition for the open source software was published on opensource.org. It says open source doesn't just mean access to the source code. The distribution terms of open source software must comply with the following criteria. Now there is a series of criteria which makes the software as open source software. Let's see them. First is free redistribution. No restriction on the redistribution of the software, whether as a whole or a part. Okay, thus source code. The program must include a source code and must allow the distribution in source code as well as compiled form. So third is the derived work. The license must allow modifications, derived works, and must allow them to be distributed under same terms as the license of the original software. Now next is the integrity of the author of the source code. The integrity of the authors of the source code must be maintained. Any addition, modification should carry a different name or version number from the original software. Means the person who wrote that software, his code integrity must be maintained. So no discrimination against a person or group. It should not be there that the license should be available to the particular group or person or community. It should be available for all. So next is no discrimination against field of endeavors. Now if you want to use the software for business purposes or generic research, it should be allowed. It should not be restricted to a particular area. Now next is distribution of the license. The right attached to the program must apply to all to whom the program is redistributed. Means the person who is receiving the redistributed copy should also obey the license terms and condition which was with the original software. So license must not specific to a product. There must not be any restriction on the rights attached to the program. There should not be a condition on the programs being part of particular software distribution. The license must not restrict other softwares, like the license must not place restrictions on other software. For example, a license must not insist all others program distributed on the same medium must be open source, or they can be proprietary software. There should be no condition imposed basically. So license must be technology neutral, means any kind of interface, any kind of platform you may use with that particular software. It should not be dependent on a particular technology. So when we blend these two philosophies, like freedoms of the free software and conditions and prerequisite of the open source software, it becomes FOSS, free and open source software. It's a blend. So the term free and open represent offering emphasis on importance of freedom. Free means freedom, and technical progress means open source software because the source code is available to the user. So he can always modify upon it. He can create his own copy and then follow all the freedoms also. So a software which is free as well as open belongs to the category free and open source software. I think I have made the points clear. In case you have any doubt, post your comment here. Thank you so much.